Good afternoon and welcome to Retail Trends Tuesday. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Lisa Hutchison. I am the managing partner at JC Williams Group. I oversee strategy and master planning.
I'm John Torella, and my focus is marketing and branding.
And I'm Graham Human, and I'm a Research and Insights Associate here at JC Williams Group.
For those of you who are not familiar with JC Williams Group, and this is your first time visiting us, we were founded in 1974. We are getting excited about celebrating our 50th year next year. We are very focused on market research as well as strategic planning, marketing and branding, community master planning. Another exciting thing about JC Williams Group is that we are the exclusive Canadian members of the Ebeltoft Group, a global consortium of boutique retail consulting firms just like us that are spread over 18 countries, which you can see there in the map. So together with our partners, our global partners, each year for the last 18 years, we have been compiling retail innovations into an ebook and presentations that take a view of all the best case studies of retailers and brands from around the world. So essentially, each member country presents case studies from these really exciting things that they see within their own markets, and a team curates the case studies. So they go through each and every case that's submitted, and there's often over 100 that are submitted. The jury selects the best case studies, and from there, key themes are emerge, and the case studies are then slotted into these key themes. And this year, there are 3 key themes. The first one is innovation for efficient and hyper efficiency, pardon me. The second is innovation for an enhanced experience. And the third is innovation for a better world. So last week, our webinar series looked at the first theme or category. This week, we are focused on innovation for an enhanced experience. And we're going to take a deep dive and look at 12 cases that really focus on providing your customer an experience that is very enticing for them to buy product and interact with your brand or store. So these 12 cases that we'll be talking to you today will give you an understanding of what that theme entails. So John, you can talk to us first about.
So this is kind of one that strikes close to my heart, being Italian. And what I found interesting about it is the concept of building a flagship store. And this is a theme that we hear now more and more about. Certainly Starbucks started with their roastery. But if you're going to create a flagship store, it obviously has to have enhanced experience opportunities. So what are the things that they kind of focused on? So certainly the product is there, you can see it being made. But I think the interesting thing about the flagship concept is this appeal to all the senses. So you can go in, see the product. I mean, pasta, hundreds and hundreds of shapes that you can experience. The aroma of it, certainly seeing the chefs and doing the tastings. So, the Sunday sauce of Barilla is kind of one that hits home for me. It brings back memories of, returning from Mass on Sunday. And as you approach the front door, the aromas are there. And there's the nonos, acete, mangiare. So that's what you're trying to create. The keyword enhanced experience.
Next, we'll look at Emerge Fashion, which is something we're seeing out of Australia. So Emerge Fashion is a pop-up that we're seeing that's been installed into Myer department stores in Australia. And they're really a digitally enabled fashion incubator. They're showcasing local and up-and-coming brands that don't yet have a physical presence, but may have already had an online experience for their customers. And they've brought that online experience into the in-store as well. So there are QR codes that they're able to access the endless aisle online and see the entire collection. And the entire concept behind this really is to bring that physical store experience to brands that may not have enough traction, enough overhead yet to be able to open their own flagships. So you get these really talented sales associates that you would have at a Myer store, but selling your own brand. So this is a really, really interesting concept that allows people to shop these new collections and to also showcase some new local designers that they're seeing in Australia. And next, we're going to take a look at the Oxford experience.
Smelly cat, smelly
Oops.
cat, what are they feeding you?
The Friends experience is now in Toronto, so you can have coffee at Central Perk, hang out at Monica and Rachel's apartment, or get comfy on Chandler and Joey's recliners. The exhibit takes you through 12 rooms with memorabilia, recreations of the iconic set, and our favorite moments from the show, like when Joey wore all of Chandler's clothes, or when Ross kept saying pivot when moving the couch through the stairwell. If you're a fan of the show, this place will make you nostalgic. The Friends experience opens on July 14th at Yorkdale Shopping Centre and will go on until January 2023. With Narcy Canada, I'm Ashna Barkada.
So the Oxford Experiences is one of 4 cases that we submitted from Canada. And basically, this is, just as it said, this particular one that you saw the video on is related to the Friends experience. There was also, pre-pandemic, there was one that was with the Avengers, and they've also done a Barbie experience in a different property, and they're now replacing the Friends experience with the Office experience. So essentially what Oxford Properties has done is taken large vacant spaces and created these experiences to animate what would be a large vacancy in the property. And so not only does it fill this potential large vacancy or something that's, just taking a while for the retailer to fill in, but it also provides a reason to create some traffic to the property. So it's very compelling, and people are making special trips to each of these properties for that. So it's bringing people back to the malls. It's really about this experience that you can, do the Instagram moments, have some fun with your friends, and it's a great way to be able to engage with customers.
Now we'll take a look at the Lavazza Cafe in London.
So one of the things that we found interesting here was, how do you take that coffee experience, come in, have your cappuccino or your espresso, whip it down and out the door? Well, here's an example of how to enhance that experience, to really make it distinctive, and in every aspect, every touch point of this cafe is really, I think, distinctive in its look and feel. It's also, I think, critical that it be relevant. So If people are in a hurry, they can go out. If they need to shop, there's a grocery experience, there's a restaurant experience. So it really takes into consideration the customer and their needs. And I think the thing that is very impressive for me is that it works today, but it's going to work in the future.
So the next case we have here is a really interesting one out of Spain called La Más Mona, which translates in English to the cutest. So this brand originally started very similar to the Rent the Runway concept as a circular economy model where people were able to rent the dresses without needing to actually purchase them, and that you could use it just for one occasion. So you had multiple events throughout a season, then you could just rent dresses for that. Now, what they launched is a new concept that they're likening to an Airbnb for clothes. So what you do is you can actually rent your clothes to them. So it's a minimum of a 6-month period. And then once it's approved, you mail it to them and they do everything. So they clean it, they take photos of it, they post it on their website, everything like that. And then you're able to get 35% of the rental price every time it's rented. So during that process, you also come up with what the sale price would be should it get ruined if during this process because it's getting rented out to people. But if it does get ruined, it's a very seamless transition. They just send you the money that you'd agreed upon, and that's it. So you can get it back for 30 euros anytime during that 6-month period. But it seems like a lot of people are really using this for, for the long run. So not only is it sustainable and convenient, but one thing that we've been talking about is that it'd be a great opportunity for if there was different countries that had completely different climates. So, northern and southern hemisphere. So in Canada, we would rent our winter coats to a country in the southern hemisphere. So a really, really cool opportunity. It'd be interesting to see how it can scale to something like that. And then next here, we're going to take a look at
So we're back in Toronto again, as you can see that the Staples Studio is really about taking what was just a big box office supply store and reinventing it. And they had done a test actually pre-pandemic that had tried out lots of similar elements, including co-working spaces. And basically between the the success of that test, as well as that in early pandemic, when there was the rush to work from home, it was like Christmas every day for Staples. And then all of a sudden, just like every other retailer, they had to really reinvent and see where they were. So they re-examined this Staples Studio, and this is the result of the next generation of that studio. So it is still an office supply store. It has printing available. It has co-working. It has a coffee experience. It has collaboration spaces. It also has podcasting studios and things that entrepreneurs or people that are part of the gig economy, their services that they need. But there's also great services for people that are doing the work from home experience and don't need to go into the office, but maybe still need to have a working space that they need to step out of the home and use some of the extra tools and so on. So we're really seeing this as a great example of that experience. They've really pivoted timely And they're being able to use these large spaces that they have and reinvent them.
So Rose Bikes, the thing that I think we all found interesting here is that they have really captured the concept of community. So they are now a social place for their customers. They're a place that you can come with your friends, socialize. You can shop, certainly, extensive enhancement of their collection. I think 8 times originally what they had. You can shop online and see the broad extension of their assortment. So community and this sense of belonging is an idea whose time has come. And I think you're going to see it manifested more and more in the brand experience.
All right, next we are looking at Mango. So this is a Spanish retailer, very large fast fashion retailer, but their loyalty program is what we really found interesting, which was the Mango Likes You program. So subscribers can get likes, which is their points, in more traditional ways, like with other retailers. So by purchasing, by subscribing to newsletters, following on social media, those sorts of things. But the big difference is also how they're adding to the loyalty program concept by giving likes for things like donating old clothes to be recycled. When you're in store, opening the app, which is a really unique thing when you're thinking about this immersive experience of having the online and in store all in one place. You're getting likes and points to be able to purchase just from that. The last thing that's really interesting about this loyalty program is that you don't just have to use the points for Mango product. They can be traded for movie tickets, digital subscriptions, yoga classes. You can rent electric bikes with them. And then something that's really cool too, that will work maybe more into our next week's theme as well, is that you can use your points to donate to a nonprofit. So a really, really unique loyalty program that I think is, that we think is going to be really interesting to follow and see who else starts to adopt those programs as well.
So the next case comes to us from our partners in Brazil. And this is from, this is the brand Unilever that, or the company Unilever that has a laundry soap product called Omo Laundry. And basically what they have done is they've created a unique channel to connect the customer to their laundry soap. And so what they've done is they've, taken the traditional laundromat and partnered with franchisees and branded these and using, getting the customers to be able to interact with this laundry soap essentially. So there's different formats. They have ones, and now they're moving into residential buildings where they have shared laundry spaces. And again, you're seeing these branded spaces. So this is a really unique way for the brand to connect with customers in a non-traditional way. So this, rather than just seeing this brand on a shelf in a grocery store, you're actually being able to interact with it. So it's a very unique business model, as well as being able to build brand value with the customer.
Now we'll move on to Walmart.
So Graham, you got to jump in with me on this one, because this is a perfect example of Walmart trying to appeal to a younger customer and doing it in a really out of the box way. I think, the metaverse, which is, this aspect of innovation and creativity, what's striking you about it? I mean,
I think that one thing that's really interesting is how to integrate product into it and not make it feel too forced. Because
Yeah.
last year we saw their integration of going through the home and clicking on different products, which felt a little bit more forced, but being able to gamify it as well as to a younger audience, making wish lists and things like that, I
and
think
from
is really
fashion to
interesting.
toys, I mean, think of the scope of it. I think Walmart is a company that we really need to dig deeper into some of the changes they make. The leadership is really creating experiences that you just wouldn't relate to Walmart. So kudos to them.
Yeah, stay tuned. We've been thinking about this metaverse for a while, so I think this is a really interesting discussion that's still gonna be had.
Absolutely. And staying on the tech trend, this is media. So Media Markt's a large electronics retailer in Europe, so similar to a Best Buy that we would have here. And this is their new flagship store in Berlin. That other video is not from that location because the Berlin one's still very new, but gives you an idea. It's called the Tech Village. So it's trying to give you a bit of a experience that you would get at a tech trade show. So there's 35 branded boutiques throughout the store. And then each one has its own specific sales associates that are able to give you a branded experience in each of these areas. So as you can see, they've also integrated a lot of tech into it with having the robotic sales associates that if it's as simple as I just need a cable for whatever, then you can get it. Then you can just tell this sales associate, click in what you want, and they'll take you to the location in the store where you'd want to find it. Now, as you can see at the end too, they also have put in a cafe, which is something we've seen a lot of retailers expanding into, to have as that meeting place for shoppers. This is a really interesting concept, and I think a really cool way to give you branded experiences within a larger area. And I mean, 35 branded boutiques is quite a lot, so it's definitely on a huge scale, but a very interesting concept. Reminds me a bit of the JD Mall from last year from that was in China, but on a bit of a smaller scale than that even. But next we will move on to Meetus.
So Meetus comes to us from our partners in Spain. As in you can see, they are a luxury brand that's very visual, very focused on creative handbags, really unique leather designs. Again, specifically in the handbag, but also other leather designs. And it's really focused on sustainability, as all its leather is traceable and all the pieces are produced by local Spanish highly skilled manufacturers. So basically it was a digital brand that was only produced on demand to avoid having overstocking. And there was very small collections that were available for very small windows to keep them very customizable and personalized. And you can co-create with these designers in private spaces. But they really felt that they needed to take the digital brand and create this physical experience that you see here. And so this is this new space that's got that sort of studio art gallery feel to it that really plays to what their consumer is looking for, to have this, you know, really strong brand personality that's translated into a physical space. It still has the on-demand, so that has the customizable and on-demand element. So it bridges a little bit in terms of sustainability, but it's very focused on that personal experience. So it's really, you know, saying that, you know, we're not just a digital brand, we are this very highly personalized experience for our customers. So that wraps up today's session. We are back next week. We are talking about innovation for a better world. It is our last theme that we're talking about. We'll be talking about sustainability, and we'll be talking about just brands that help shape a better world. If you would like to download the book for free, you can use the first QR code. And if you would like to join us next week for the webinar, the second QR code will take you there and you can sign up. And of course, you can always follow us on social media for other updates and other Retail Trends Tuesdays throughout the year, as well as sign on to our YouTube channel and watch previous recordings. Thanks for joining us.